Today I am here with an upright Steinway & Sons piano. This is one of the several upright models that they've made throughout the year, and this one is called the K. This particular piano dates back from about the 1920s, and as you can see, it's in very good condition. There's a few cool features about this piano that I wanted to talk about, and one of them, the first I'm going to talk about, is the original Ivory key tops. Now, pianists love Ivory key tops. Unfortunately, they're not able to be sourced today, but what's very cool about them is that they help absorb sweat, and your fingers really just stick to them a lot better than they do on plastics. These are the original Ivory tops. They are a two-piece design where there's a little line here that runs all the way along the top, where the back piece here is joined to the front piece here, and they're in very good condition. They have a natural kind of a yellowed look to them, but that often happens with ivories, but they still work just fine. As you can see here, we've got the Steinway & Sons logo, so this truly is a Steinway piano, and we have a small little music desk here that folds up when the lid is when the music desk is, the fallboard is folded down. So when you put this fallboard down, you have to make sure that this is folded away, just like so. It kind of pushes into place before you put that down, because sometimes if you don't do that, it could damage the keys or something like that. So now let's take a look at the inside of the piano. Despite the fact that this piano is from 1920, it's in very good condition, but you might notice that the strings as well as the tuning pins are in unusually good condition, and we assume that either this piano was taken extremely good care of over the years, but it's more likely that the tuning pins and the strings were replaced at some point during its life, possibly 30 to 40 years ago, because they're just in such good condition, and the bass side, as you will hear in a minute, sounds particularly good for a piano of this age. Now, something you might notice that's a bit odd is these strange damper extensions up here. And what these do is basically, the strings here are very long, and if you didn't have those extensions, the smaller damper down here wouldn't be enough to fully mute the string when you wanted it to. So instead of making this damper longer and needing a slightly heavier spring to activate it and push it back into place, Steinway just put an extension up here that has a really small damper, and that basically accomplishes the same thing. As you can see, when you press the note, it rises with the damper and then also will fall back into place, just like so. So it's kind of an interesting feature about the Steinway K. I've only seen the Steinway K do this. Maybe there's some other piano manufacturer that's done this before, but it's an interesting feature about this particular piano model that I've never seen in any other before. So I thought you might find that kind of interesting. So now I'm going to play a short little piece on this piano. It's a song that I wrote myself to kind of help demonstrate the sounds of a piano. It starts off in the treble and it works its way down into the tenor and bass and kind of gives a general idea of what the piano sounds like. So hopefully you enjoy it. The piano has a very nice sound despite the fact that it's from 1920. I kind of like the sound of it, honestly. It's got a nice sparkly treble, and the rest of it, the overall sound quality of the piano is rather warm for such an old piano. Generally, when you have an older piano like this, the hammers kind of get hard, but it seems something about Steinway K's, the hammers would actually kind of warm up and get a much more mellow sound. We actually had one of these pianos at one point, and it too had a very mellow sound to it, which is kind of unusual. As you can hear on this piano, while the bass is not as good as a traditional, horizontal grand piano, the bass does not sound bad by any means for such an old piano, and that is why we believe the strings have been replaced, because if they were original, the bass probably wouldn't sound as good as it does. Another interesting thing I kind of like about this piano is it only has two pedals, and that is because it's simply an earlier piano before adding the third pedal became a mainstream feature on pianos. So of course the right one is a damper pedal, as usual, and what the left one does is it moves the hammers closer to the string to make the sound just a little bit more quiet, and that's kind of cool. The pedals are also really, really tiny, as you can see. They're super stubby, and I think they're kind of cute. So I just wanted to point that out. It's kind of neat. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video about this 1920s Steinway K. It's kind of an interesting piano, and I have lots of videos on my channel of Steinways and all kinds of other pianos. So if you want to check that out, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to subscribe to the channel, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.